Today on the compliance tip of the day, we're going to look at some current M&A issues under the FCPA from the domestic perspective. The compliance tip of the day. This is the podcast where we bring you daily insights and practical advice on navigating the ever-evolving landscape of compliance requirements. Whether you're a seasoned compliance professional or just starting your journey, my aim in this podcast is to provide you with a bite-sized, actionable tip to help you stay on top of your compliance game. And now I'd like to say a few words about the latest podcast on the Compliance Podcast Network, AI Today in 5 with 5. Thrilled to announce the inaugural episode of my latest podcast series, AI Today in 5. I wanted to do a short, curated set of stories and news stories about AI for the compliance professional and the greater business professional. You can check it out on Megaphone, the Compliance Podcast Network, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple, or wherever great podcasts are listened to. Check out AI Today in 5. Today on the Compliance Tip of the Day, we continue our look at compliance issues at M&A by looking at international concerns. Yesterday, we posed domestic issues, so if you didn't listen to that, check out yesterday's and then pair it with today's issues on international. Obviously, international M&A presents both different and heightened risks. If a company is going to enter a multinational global deal, it probably involves a sophisticated buyer. However, the ultimate level of risk of the transaction is going to inform what you do. Always remember HP's acquisition of autonomy, as fraud can occur anytime. As the risk level could be both different and heightened, a fulsome due diligence is the key. Look at the track of the target. Look at what they do. It's slightly different than what you do as an acquirer. It might pose different risks than you're used to, so consider this going forward. Some of this risk might evolve. Who does the target sell to? Where are the customers located? What are the business operations? Does the target use a distributor model? What do they use third-party sales, and are the customers commissions sales agents? And are the customers foreign government officials or state agencies? Another area for investigation is the target supply chain. Obviously, in the era of Trump's tariffs, this has become even more important. And as we move to potentially secondary tariffs, it becomes even more critical. An acquirer needs to understand the risks around the supply chain and what they can bring. But it also will require a physical look at the facilities to see what, if any, issues might arise from a physical inspection. Another area that is receiving a lot of attention now is AML. An acquirer needs to review the company's AML program. This is most particularly true for banks and other financial institutions that are expanding their global footprint. You need to dig into their AML compliance programs, and you may want to look at their overall governance as well. Finally, you're going to have to look at customer due diligence and KYC procedures and controls. Another area for background review is national security. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, or CFIUS, has become much more prominent under the first Trump administration, but this continued under the Biden administration and has continued forward till today. This prominence will keep going as many companies will need to consider a CFIUS filing as well. Culture is critical in any M&A transaction, largely because from a cultural norm perspective, people do not always do business in the same way. So businesses in the U.S. may do things very differently than businesses in the Far East, Sub-Saharan Africa, you name the country. You still need to review policies and procedures, and you'll need to get comfortable around written controls in the form of internal controls, and is there a tone of doing business ethically and with integrity? The bottom line is there are key questions you need to ask and get a handle on in the pre-acquisition due diligence from the international perspective. So what are today's 3 key takeaways? Number 1, as with yesterday, there's going to be a heightened demand for increased M&A going forward. 2, you must prioritize non-financial issues in international M&A. And 3, you must assess the target's culture going forward. One of the things that I'm happy to do for you, the compliance profession, is if you have a question or a series of questions you would like some compliance tips on, I'm happy to take any requests that you might want, certainly anonymize them, and give you a quick tip, either one quick tip or maybe a week's worth of quick tips. So if you have any tips you want about your compliance program, you can shoot me an email at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. This podcast was created and produced